just wanted to ask, going on what Tim was saying, is the 9th and 10th Amendment, the reaffirming the 9th and 10th Amendment, is that in committee, and is there any co-sponsors?
I have not put it in. I don't know if somebody else has put it in. What they're referring to, just let me give you a little bit of a summary about the 9th and 10th Amendment. As the federal government is moving more, especially now under the Obama administration and under the Democratic leadership in Congress, moving more to being Big Brother, truly Big Brother. The 9th and 10th Amendment says that the federal government shall not interfere in any state's desires to govern themselves on a variety of different issues. That's the quick and simple version of the 9th and 10th Amendment. What I plan on doing is I plan on sponsoring a resolution. For those of you that don't know what a resolution is, it really is a non-binding statement that would be made from the General Assembly. Am I optimistic that it will pass under the Democratic leadership? No. But it certainly will give us an opportunity to open the discussion on the issue of the fact that we don't want to stand by and let the federal government run over the individual rights of the citizens of the state of Rhode Island. I plan on introducing the legislation sometime between January and February, and it'll be drawn and we'll put it in.
Love you, Joe.
I have a question over here for Eric. You bring up the emerging gang violence and the rise of crime, and you talk about the police protecting us and possible layoffs. I want to know where you stand on the people having the right to protect themselves and having the right to carry and keep and bear arms, which is granted in the Second Amendment of the Bill of Rights.
First of all, I'm a firm believer in the United States Constitution and all of the rights which are included in the United States Constitution. The Second Amendment is one that I'm very supportive of. I myself am someone who enjoys being a sportsman in terms of target shooting. I'm a member of the Bradford Sportsman's Club down in South County, and I'm someone who believes in the right to carry to protect oneself. I think that's a right that law-abiding citizens should have. So, as you know, your question in terms of whether or not I have any opposition to law-abiding citizens being able to carry firearms, my answer to that is no. You know, the Constitution says that a person has the right to bear arms to protect themselves and their homes. The Supreme Court has recently affirmed that in the Heller decision, and I'm glad that they have addressed that issue in D.C. But Second Amendment, you're right.
I have two people with questions over here. Jim, sir.
Thank you. This is for Eric.
All right.
I've enjoyed your presentation tonight.
Thank you.
I hope if this health care package passes, that you'll be thinking when they try and push a new Medicaid expansion upon the states, that as for Rhode Island, you may have some ideas about pushing back on that mandate. But besides that, more specifically on criminal law, because as Attorney General, that's one of your main responsibilities. Could you comment on the current situation for DNA testing of convicted persons? What the current situation is and where you would want that to go? Because as a lifelong Republican, but also a criminal defense attorney, and I've done a lot of, disposed of a lot of cases with the Attorney General's office over the years, and on reasonable basis many times. But sometimes I'm alarmed when I see a mindset among prosecutors where they get so into the agenda of prosecuting that they would actually fight a DNA test for somebody who may not have committed a crime. And I think it offends Republicans, Democrats, all Americans to think of an innocent man or an innocent woman in jail, and to think that a representative of their government would, as a matter of policy, obstruct. So if you could comment on where we are in Rhode Island on that now, and where would you be?
Jim, it's something that's actually, in terms of ensuring that the people that are in prison or the people who are accused of crimes are in fact, we have the right person. I'm very much in favor of providing every opportunity for a person to be able to prove their innocence in a case like that when we use DNA. Currently, the opportunity for people to use DNA and to get a DNA test or to get it, and I'm going to take it that you're referring to that in terms of perhaps an indigent dependent that can't even afford it.
Whether they can afford it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes I know there's some cases where perhaps people couldn't afford it, and perhaps, obviously there's got to be motions to the court asking
Sure.
for funds, and the court has mechanisms to
Yeah, absolutely.
award funds in that case. But either whether they can afford it or not.
Yeah. I've had the opportunity as an attorney to really be on both sides of the fence, not just in the private practice as a defense attorney, but also in the Air Force. I was a prosecutor in the Air Force, and then I became a defense counsel in the Air Force. And I have represented people and put them, I've represented them before courts martial, which is no different than the jury system that we have here. And I recognize that it is an imperfect process. It is an absolutely imperfect process. I had a situation of my own in which I along with another individual, at the time I was a junior, kind of the second chair counsel, and that person we were convinced was innocent. We put that person went through a trial, we cross-examined, we did everything we were supposed to do as defense counsel, and we had a panel come back within seconds that the person was found guilty, and found that person guilty. It turns out that person was not in fact guilty. The real offender was found within a few hours because the victim recanted her story. So I know what it's like to have sat next to someone who I firmly believe was innocent and have a group make the wrong decision. Now, in that case, DNA would have made a big difference. It really would have. There just wasn't that kind of evidence available. But I think that we need to safeguard everybody's rights. We don't want to put innocent people in jail. We have enough guilty ones that we need to put in there. And if we can provide the opportunity for DNA testing, then I'm for it. I think it's an important access for people. We have to trust our criminal justice system. That's the key. As individuals with civil liberties to live free in America, if you're accused of a crime, everybody needs to have confidence in their justice system. And as Attorney General, I'm not going to be someone who simply is going to push for cases and disregard individual rights simply to get a conviction. It's not about that. It's about protecting people from the real offenders. An innocent person goes to jail, the guilty person is still out there to reoffend.
Question.
Thank you, Eric. Hello, I mentioned before,
Yes.
Gary Trott.
How are you doing?
Very well, Eric. And I wanted to follow up on the gentleman's question over here about the handguns and the firearms. Now, our state constitution, in addition to the U.S. Constitution, allows for, we have the right to keep and bear arms. You, as Attorney General, would have the authority to issue a carry permit to someone based upon need.
Absolutely.
Now, do you consider need to be the exercise of a person's right?
I believe that, right, let me just explain what the status is now. Right now, the Attorney General grants carry permits, and the process is essentially you have to express what your purpose and your need is. You can't be somebody who's suffering from a severe mental health illness, and you can't obviously be a convicted felon. So those are the standards right now. In terms of issuing carry permits, it has to continue to be on a case-to-case basis. It has to be. A random handing out of carry permits without the proper background checks can't happen. But in terms of an individual's right to have one to protect themselves, I don't have a problem with that.
No, what I was